The thrush is also working itself out, as well as the rash. So the baby has been to the doctor, and unfortunately, because there is not a record that we've been able to locate regarding her appointments to the doctor, the only thing left pending for her is immunizations. And so I am hopeful today that one of the takeaways from this meeting would be that we would be able to find out where she went for her immunizations, so that that can be followed up on.
Yeah, on Friday I did ask him, and the baby, she does go to Venice Family Clinic, and the baby hasn't been immunized. So he was gonna ask mom if she was okay, in regards to immunization, so we could move on in regards to immunizing the baby.
Okay, so has that happened, the immunization?
Friday, so I don't know, he was supposed to let me know today.
Okay, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
When you taking the doctor, because you checking the baby before, you take all the clothes and you check it. And you see something wrong with the baby? That's my question, you know?
Yeah, I saw her eyes. I didn't think that was necessarily abusive at the time. You know, her tongue, you know, it was white, but you know, babies drink milk. I'm not a medical professional, so that wouldn't be my call to make.
They ask you checking for everything. You see something wrong in the top? Because what I know is, in the internet, they show you when the baby has a hair, it's only for 3 days when they start crying and don't need it and cry and cry.
It's immediate. The hair tourniquet was going to cause injury immediately. It's not something that grows over time, like you're saying. You're insinuating that it's a
I'm
cheating.
not insinuating anything.
Well, you're mentioning.
Can
I finish what I'm saying?
No, because
I can't finish what I'm saying.
No, she addressed me with the issue, and so let me respond to her. And it is that one of the concerns about that, that there was no desire to, you know, make a point of safety for the caregiver, for the workers, for you, for father, for mother at all. I insisted that the baby, instead of going to a clinic, that she go to the hub, which is the forensic facility that the department utilizes, so that if there was concern, the doctor would indicate at that moment if he felt that there was issue regarding abuse and neglect, regarding that toe and the piece about the hair. What I have stated to you is not any thoughts that I came up on my own. That's what the doctor said to me, and I only shared that with the two of you all. Now, that issue is not debatable with us because none of us are medical professionals. That's what the doctor said to me, and I just shared that information to you all, and that's it.
I just want to mention, no one's saying abuse, but I do feel like whoever's in the care right now was neglectful to not have noticed that immediately. My mom's saying that you guys repeatedly strip searched her every time you guys came to visit her home, and no issues were ever brought up at the moment. So how is it that even at the very last day when you guys took her, you're trying to blame this case of a hair tourniquet? You're trying to put responsibility on my mother. You're trying to push it on her when she already had been in the foster parents' home for the past 2-3 weeks already. So, and none of this, and what's concerning is that none of this was brought up to my parents. My parents had contact with Miss Mack, and she was told that she's okay, that she's fine, everything's okay. No, nothing was ever brought up, no concerns. She's doing well, she's doing good. It wasn't until I had the interview last week with Miss Sandra and Miss Chavez that this came to light. I mean, this whole time we would have been kept in the dark. I know my father-in-law was expecting to have received the baby last week, and I guess Ms. Chavez said she had car issues. I don't know if that's true. I would like to know the validity in that, because she said that she wasn't able to make it because of car issues, and also because the following day she was off. Now my father-in-law would have also never known. He was expecting to get the child, but he would have never known if it wasn't for the Ms. Sandra showing me the photos and accusing that being a condition caused by my mother's care, which is not true. And then she also questioned the honesty between me and my mother. I don't know what kind of relationship she has with her mom, but between me and my mom, we're very honest and truthful. And she was accusing that incident to have occurred under my mom's care, which is not true. If you guys would have seen it immediately, I mean, a hair tourniquet, it had a hair tourniquet causes immediate. I mean, the baby's gonna cry immediately.
No, they don't.
From the experiences that I've read, I mean,
you've read. This is
okay. What? So
Okay,
how,
wait, I
what,
need,
yeah,
where's it?
let's pause, everyone pause.
Yes.
I think that you're taking things personally, I think, and you're missing what.
I am taking
Let
this
me
personally.
The doctor indicated to her, based on what the doctor saw of this situation, how long it has been. Not stuff on the internet, not stuff whatever. I've seen it multiple times, in multiple situations. This is probably your first thing, and but the doctor gave his opinion about how long this particular thing had been going on.
May I get the records on that?
Listen. So, the doctor had given the opinion about how long this had been going on. That's not her opinion. It's not anyone accusing your mother. They're saying, okay, well, it looks like because that was a kind of the extreme one that I've seen. I think that was probably the worst one I've seen without having lost a toe, to tell you the truth. It had been going on for a while. Babies don't always cry. Babies don't always express themselves. You would think they would, but they don't. It doesn't always turn out that way. But we're not here to fight about the toe situation. We're here to discuss what's going on with court, what are the expectations, what is it that you want for your family. But going back and forth about the toe and there's no point in any of us arguing on a medical finding that was already made by a medical professional. Doesn't matter what you read online, this doctor saw her toe and made this determination, period. So it's not something that we can argue about. This is just what that person said.
I argue because, no, I'm not arguing with you. I only want to know, because first they said there's a little rush in the toe.
Okay, on the bottom?
No, I don't know.
You said it was a bug bite.
The lady, they take care of the baby. We call the next day. I don't call. My daughter called and asking how's the baby. And they said, well, the baby is fine. He's a good baby. He likes the showers. And I take a shower, and maybe because it's so cold last night and things that happen, they have a runny nose. But if he's still like that, I'm going to take him to the doctor. That's the only thing they say, right?
Lourdes, dilo en español para que te comuniques bien, porque estás
Okay.
diciendo que es él, pero es ella.
Okay.
Dilo en español.
Ok, se lo digo en español. Si mi inglés no es bueno, está bien. Ella me dijo que la niña, como la habían llevado en la noche, ella la bañó. Y que después de eso, la niña en la mañana amaneció con la nariz escurriendo. Pero ella piensa que como estaba tan frío, que eso pudo ser que se resfrió la niña. Pero,
I got that. I just can't speak it.
ok. Ok, por
So if she starts going fast,
No,
then we
no,
need to.
no, that's why I'm
Every
talking
night,
slow.
the caregiver told her that
Talking
she had a runny
slow,
nose.
you know?
And she continued, and she was gonna take her to the doctor.
And
Dilo en
that's it.
español.
Dijo
Todo
ella,
habla en español, por favor.
"Please, Julia". Entonces mi hija le dijo, ok, entonces la niña está bien, no se preocupen. Dice, mañana van a tener la corte, posiblemente se la regresen
She
mañana.
said, don't worry about the baby, tomorrow there's court, so maybe they'll return the baby
Entonces
tomorrow.
fuimos a la corte.
That's what she
La-
the caregiver
Lo
said.
único que yo quiero saber, ¿cuándo la llevaron al doctor?
She wants to know when the baby was taken to the doctor.
¿Cuándo la llevaron al doctor? Y necesitamos los récords para enseñárselos a su doctor de la
To
niña.
show them to her doctor.
A ver
the baby's
qué es
doctor.
lo que está pasando, ¿verdad?
What's going on.
Porque me dijeron que no puedo ver yo a la niña ni puedo estar cerca de
They
ella
told her that she
porque
couldn't see the baby or
no
remember the
tengo
baby.
buen cuidado de la
She
niña.
doesn't have- she's
Tuve
not able to
5 hijos
properly care for the baby.
y nunca tuve
She
ningún
had 5
problema.
children and she never had
Tengo
any issues
16
like that.
nietos con
She
esta
has
baby
16 grandkids with this baby.
y a todos mis nietos los puede ver.
And
Yo he
she
trabajado
all her
con
grandkids,
niños.
she worked with kids.
He trabajado en el programa que tienen ustedes. Yo he ido a
Worked in a
juntas.
program that we have.
So,
She's been to meetings.
en México yo tomé clases
In Mexico, she took classes
de primeros auxilios.
of
So,
first aid.
no me pueden decir a mí que es algo así. Y yo le dije a ella,
In regards to her care.
quiero que protejan a mi niña, porque tantos niños que se les han muerto en sus manos ustedes,
Because of
y no
so many
porque lo he
babies that have
vivido,
died under
sino
her
porque lo he
DCFS
visto
care.
en la televisión.
Not that she's seen it,
En
but
el-
she's heard on TV.
En diciembre no se les perdió un bebito que ya lo encontraron muerto
Was lost and now
y
it's
los
dead.
papás estaban en el programa de ustedes.
And the parents were under our
Entonces, ahora yo me siento frustrada, me siento down porque dicen que fue mi culpa. No, que no la sabía bañar, que a lo mejor tenía miedo de bañarla. No puede ser eso, yo le enseñé a ella. A mi nuera le dije, no tengas miedo, no se te va a quebrar porque no es de cristal. Envuélvela en una cobijita, lávale primero su cabecita para que no tenga frío y después la metes en el agua con la cobija para que no sienta el frío y ponle sus manitas en el agua para que las tenga. El pelo no pudo estar porque me gusta a mí lavarle las manos, los pies. Y siempre tengo cuidado, la cambio en donde esté calientito. Siempre prendo algo para que esté calientito el lugar. Por eso el día que la recogieron ellos, yo les dije, cierren la puerta porque está haciendo mucho frío y la niña. Es cierto, yo cometí un error porque no se las quería dar. Es algo que me la dejó su mamá y me dijo, cuídamela, no se la des a nadie. Es como si usted me dijera, ten, cuida este tesoro. ¿Cómo se va a sentir si se lo quita? Llamaron a los policías, ahí estaban los policías. Y yo digo, si alguien tiene que cuidar a alguien, yo voy a ir a recoger una bebé, yo me preparo, llevo una cobija o algo, ¿no? Porque la baby está chiquita. La baby está bien, mientras yo la tuve está bien. El día que fue ella no me encontró porque yo me fui a un juego. Ahora dice ella que el sábado y el domingo no trabajan. Ella fue el domingo, luego, y le dije, sí, yo no trabajo. Le dije yo, ella vino el domingo, ella la encueró. Todos los que iban a ver a la niña la encueraban, la revisaban. Y les decía yo, ¿pero por qué la tienen que encuerar? Yo por eso con la primer trabajadora me molesté, porque si ella me está haciendo preguntas y me dijo, no puede estar Michelle sola con la niña. Le dije, ¿dónde está? No puede estar tu hijo sola, tienes que estar, tú te haces responsable, nos dijeron. Ok, dime de qué se trata. Es como usted ahorita me hace preguntas, yo se las contesto, ¿verdad? Pero si yo le hago preguntas, usted también me las va a contestar. Ella me dijo, eso no es, es algo privado. Le dije, entonces si es privado, esta es mi casa, yo te abrí mi casa. Y sí, estábamos tomando 2 cervezas, como ella dice, sí, estábamos, porque era el 24 de diciembre. La niña salió ese día, en la mañana. Yo estaba haciendo tamales, como mi tradición, y mi esposo. Y pues la casa sí está desordenada porque pues estábamos cocinando. Es un día de fiesta. Desde allí empecé y yo por eso le dije a ella, no quiero hablar ya más contigo. Si tú no me contestas, ¿qué es lo que está? Porque en el principio yo ni te pedí tu ID, ni te enseñé, ni te pedí una orden donde tú me digas que puedes entrar a mi casa. Que yo si fuera otra, si no traes una orden, no te dejo entrar. Porque tengo mis derechos yo también. Y luego me dice de un niño, ¿cuál niño? Su supervisora de ella me dice que de un niño. ¿Cuál voy? Si es una niña, tiene 3 días de nacida. Y luego me pregunta que cuántos años ha estado en la cárcel. Le dije yo, ¿de qué se trata? Ya. Y luego se sale ella y dice, yo no puedo hacer esto porque es una familia honesta y buena, no puedo hacer esto. ¿De qué se trata esto? Porque nunca me dio una respuesta ni me dijo a qué iba. Yo pensaba que era del hospital, que se les había olvidado algo.
She didn't understand what was going on. She thought it was maybe somebody from the hospital that they forgot something. That she didn't understand what was all that she was working and what was all happening.
Estoy toda, porque nunca en mi vida he pasado.
She's never been through anything like this.
So I would like to just say this, that I think there has been lots of misunderstandings and concern with intention. I don't think that anybody here, it was not meant to say it's the grandmother's fault that these things have happened, not at all. The basis of this case came about because court said that the mother was the one to be caring for the child in your home with your oversight. So the responsibility, the primary responsibility was not yours. Yours was just to be supportive to mom, to do just what you indicated, which was share your knowledge of all the children you raise and your professional knowledge and understanding about, what happens with the baby and how they grow and develop. I think that, I'm sorry.
¿Él entendió o quiere que?
Sí, what's the time?
Tú
So
di-
I think it's
tú deja
I
que
told
te
her
explique,
to-
por favor, deja que te explique para que entiendas.
Sí, porque lo único nada más estaba diciendo de que ya en ningún momento era intención de echarle directamente a usted la culpa, pero nada más de que la responsabilidad de todo esto era la mamá, no usted, porque la niña estaba bajo el cuidado de la mamá. La corte nada más permitió de que se quedara la niña con la mamá. Lógico, usted la iba a supervisar, iba a asegurar que todo estuviera bien, y lo único era de que usted le estaba guiando y ayudando a la mamá, como le estaba haciendo por la experiencia que usted ha tenido como abuela, como madre, pero la responsabilidad era de la mamá asegurar de cuidar de la niña y que la niña estuviera bien cuidada.
Ella lo hacía.
Same mom,
Ella lo hacía. Ella
So-
lo hacía. Cuando no estuvo allí fue por las circunstancias de que se la llevaron a la cárcel. Y yo fui honesta con ella, porque yo le dije luego, ella está en la cárcel.
says the only time mom wasn't able to care for the baby was when she was,
incarcerated. Right.
which was that she was honest about and said
Yes,
what
and
was
she
the
was.
situation with mother.
And I also want to make clear that it was clear to me the first time I came to your house that your house was filled with love. You and your husband were there. You were very tender with the baby. That was not an issue. The issue that comes up for us in terms of the department is that there were specific court orders involved. So this is not, about you or saying what you did wrong or any of that. This is not you, and I'm sorry if that's the impression that you got, because that is not it at all. I was clear that, you were a wonderful grandmother. When I came the next day and saw your other grandchildren, it's clear to me that everyone looks to you and that you do wonderful care for your family. That's not it. The reason why we're involved is because there are specific court orders. And when those court orders are not followed, then the department then has to take additional steps to either, number one, understand how something can be resolved in an immediate situation, or, in this case, it was the replacement of the baby. So the focus of our time here today is not you, because you've done what you're supposed to do. You've been a great grandmother, and you've handled the situation to the best of your ability with the knowledge and information that you had with regard to what the parents should have been doing or wherever they failed in terms of meeting their obligation. So this is not about you, and I do apologize if you felt that way. I've never made a statement about you not being a great grandmother or a good caregiver. That is not it at all.
Okay. Entonces, ¿por qué dicen que es que no tuve cuidado de la niña, que por eso está pasando eso, y que yo no voy a poder agarrar a la niña ni la voy a poder ver?
So she's just asking why is she being told that because of her not properly caring for the baby is the reason why the baby was in the condition she was in, and that why she's not gonna be able to get the baby returned to her care.
So the technicalities that exist regarding that is, number one, we still have not been able to obtain any medical documentation. So again, it's not, or wasn't your responsibility when mom was incarcerated or what have you, that, you were left without proper information about what needed to be done or, the next steps in terms of her care. And so that's, again, why we had to step in, not because of you solo, but
I was
because of
in
lack of
communication with my mother, and I was letting her know the following appointments that she was due for, and I called her physician and let him know that she's under your guys' care, and that's why we haven't been able to continue her
So that's
medical
great,
treatment.
because
But I don't know why some of the things mentioned in the court were that my mom's care was brought into question, and things in regards to the household being in a disarray.
That was
And-
brought up to court in the
All-
detention hearing.
Also, repeatedly, things were mentioned about my whereabouts and whether my mom was being forthcoming with where I was.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys had issued a removal order, which I followed through with until this day. I called, even after the removal order, I mean, she's mentioned, that I'm couch surfing and that I'm homeless, or that she doesn't know where I'm at. Now, that's consistent with the removal order that I'm not there, so I don't know how it is that she's not being forthcoming with my whereabouts.
Would you like my
And
opinion on that?
I've
Because
said,
actually-
I've said that I'm homeless, I mentioned it to several people. You guys questioned about me being in contact with a baby, but I called Rebecca Schiffman, I called Luis Valdemamos, I called Todd Johnson, I called Geneva Ankai, and now I've called Sandra and Lydia Chavez regarding visitation. And it took it to this point to finally to last week to finally sit down and have a meeting regarding visitation. So to say that I haven't been trying, is a lie. I feel like I was misidentified from the very beginning. I mentioned it to Luis Valdemamos that Rebecca Schiffman had identified me as Paulie, Michelle's previous partner, because of some certain things she mentioned to me and to my mother. How my mother said, she said that, Rebecca had told her she should be aware of the orders that we have, that we're supposed to be supervised, that we can't be alone with our child. Things that relate specifically to the other case, and also when Rebecca Schiffman has sat me down the second time, she says, you know your orders with DCFS. And then I was like, what do you mean orders? I don't even know what DCFS stands for. She's like, you don't know the Department of Children and Family Services, your orders you have? I was like, no, you don't have another kid with Michelle. Emma is not your daughter. Like, no, that's not my daughter. I only have one kid, Darlene. And then she caught herself, and then she was isolating everybody in their interview, and somewhat I don't know for what, but it seems like she wasn't trying. I mean, after that point, I told everybody, you know what? All this, she says it's supposed to be private, but I think it's better if we just start answering her questions as a group, because it seems like she's twisting everybody's words or being misinformed somehow. And then the third time when she came and she was about it. She started questioning Michelle about her past, and so what about your past, this and this and that, and you know, Michelle's emotional, and she's reliving a tragic event in her life, and I had said, you know what, like, why do you keep asking her something in regards to her past, where that you already know, you have her already on paper, you already mentioned that we know you have a record, we know you have this, we know you have that. What's the point of having someone relive that horrible moment by asking them questions in regards to that? If she said she wasn't being forthcoming about her sobriety and what she's done, she should have just asked that. Hey, what have you been doing to stay sober? Why are you gonna ask someone specifics to like detail? Just get straight to the point. Stop beating around the bush.
So
And
let me
then when
interrupt you.
she
You brought
Sir,
up like
sir,
7 things,
sir,
and it's gonna be difficult.
sir.
You brought up, no, but wait.
because it's
But
been
wait.
like that. It's
But
like
listen, you're asking
nothing's
us
getting
to-
addressed.
But you know why we can't address it? Because we're running in circles. You're basically expecting and asking us to rehash this entire investigation, and we cannot. Right now, she has been detained from both of your care, and so we need to go from here and move forward.
Okay.
If you bring up like 17 things and don't give anyone else to talk, there's no point in us being here. You can just be talking. But if we're going to address things, we need to come at them one at a time, but we cannot start from the beginning of the investigation. I'm not Rebecca, none of these people are Rebecca. If
Well,
she didn't
maybe
know
we
who
should
she
have
were,
Rebecca here.
we're not gonna have Rebecca here because Rebecca is done. The detention hearing has been set, the judge upheld it, and they've asked for another hearing, and so we're here with the people that have the
Okay,
case
you're right.
now.
What do we need to do?
So-
My question for you guys, this is my last question. What do I need to do to get my daughter back into my mother's hands? Because I feel like she should have never been taken out of her hands. I mean, I've openly said since the very beginning of the investigation, I want to participate. I want to do whatever programs you have, and contrary to what Rebecca said, that we were offered services and all this counseling, parental counseling was given, which was never done. I mean, she abruptly just left when I started questioning her. When I started questioning her about my identity.
That's
and she
a
knew-
great-
and how come none of this was never offered?
Let me
Why were we
stop. I'm
separated?
not gonna talk about Rebecca, but let me start with where you are starting, talking about why can't the baby go back to my mom? The baby was never with your mother, which is what she was trying to explain. The baby was released by court to the mother, period. So once mom didn't have the baby anymore, baby's already in foster care.
Parental grandmothers have no rights?
No, they don't. Because courts don't have, I don't know if they don't have time, I don't know why they do it this way. They don't deal with aunts, cousins, grandma, blah, 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 blah. It's the parents and the minor children only. Not adult children, not whatever. Just the bio parents
If we
or
would have,
adoptive parents and the minor children.
if we were to have gotten a parental guardianship, a temporary guardianship,
Sir,
Would that have-
we're
would
not
that-
gonna go through that.
No.
That's-
You can't do
Let
the,
him
and you
explain.
can't,
And
and
then
you
it was,
can't
we
do
were
that.
already involved and the court had already detained.
If she applied for guardianship now, they would just say you have an open DCFS case and not be bothered. I'll tell you that right now. Cause children's court supersedes family law court. So even if, let's say even if she had guardianship, as soon as our referral came out and they detained from you and mom, we still would have been here.
who supersedes, children's court or, your court?
No,
The
Nobody.
judicial court?
No, the only thing that would change is, let's say,
let's not say,
No.
let's not say.
it won't matter that
Let's
much.
just move forward then. I wanna just know what I can do to get my daughter back.
Here's the point, that, again, coming back to kind of why we're here and why it probably feels like this is against grandmother. I don't believe that grandmother's been malicious in any way, but everybody knew that there was an open case. You knew, of course, mom knew, of course, grandmother and grandfather knew. When mother got arrested or whatever happened with her, the first thing that should have happened was grandmother should have called you, or grandmother should have called the worker, or grandmother should have called somebody to say, hey, this is a new event. Mother's been arrested, the baby's here, what's the next step? Hold on, just one moment, just be there. That didn't happen. So some days, time went on, and people couldn't get in touch with you. I know I tried to call you, I tried to call mom, of course, she
I returned
was
your phone call.
much later though.
The same day, I called you a couple hours later.
I did an unannounced to the house.
Right, so there were efforts that were made to try to put something in an emergent situation together. But by the time, I got out to the house, then the information came up as an afterthought. And unfortunately, the department has to make decisions, and we count on families being open and honest so that we can say, okay, you did the best you could in the moment and opportunity that you had. That's not the circumstance that occurred. It appeared, given the past investigation, the fact that people were unable to get in touch with you, that people weren't being forthright. And I'm not saying grandmother was lying, protecting you, or any of that, but that's what the appearance was when you have multiple people trying to get at the crux, which should be very simple, which is, hey, mom was arrested, we need assistance in knowing what our next step was. Grandmother could have called and said, hey, mother got arrested, I'm available, I need this baby, what is it that you all need to do? That didn't happen. And so the next steps occurred. And so we are here today at this table in this moment to have a child and family team meeting. And the purpose of this meeting is to develop a plan to figure out how we can work together to get the baby back in the hands of a relative as quickly and as safely as possible. And that's what we're here to do. That's our main focus today.
Thank you, let's
Our
move forward.
secondary focus is how do we reunify the baby with her parents? And so that would be you and obviously mom. She is not available at this time.
Más bien luego, ¿sabes? Yo no sabía que ya estaba un caso, porque la trabajadora nunca me contestó mi pregunta. Más me dijo que era privada. So yo no podía hablarles como ella dice, que podía hablar.
She wasn't aware that there was an open case because the worker never told her, since she told her that it was confidential information, but she was never told that there was an open case. Pero él sabía un caso abierto. I'm telling her that he was aware about it, that there was an open case.
Right.
Did I not tell, did my mom not tell you though that she was incarcerated?
No,
She
that's
was-
what we're saying,
My mom never
that she
told you that she was detained?
That's what we're saying, she didn't.
She did, she told you, she mentioned
When?
to you, I
After
believe so.
I came.
When she went to the home, I did an
Yeah, but
announcement.
we weren't even, I mean, even to this point, I've been told that Todd Johnson, my caseworker, I've been told
Okay,
that Rebecca Schiffman, and now you, Miss Sandra, like, there's just a lot of misunderstanding, and it seems like we're just being shuffled around, and
Either way,
And people, and nobody's following up with what, I mean, I've called, I got it on record, I got every voicemail, I can go back and I can tell you the date and time. And
Okay.
then
To my
I've yet to hear
understanding,
any
since the very
callback.
beginning, Lydia's been involved, and that she tried
Correct.
calling
I only
you.
spoke
So
to
you
you
could have
one
called
time.
her.
And I came and I was gonna come into an interview and for whatever reason, she was out on work that day. And it was, I waited 2 hours and then I left. And then we scheduled another meeting, which I wasn't able to attend. And then from that
We
point,
didn't schedule a meeting, sir, because you indicated that you wanted your attorney present, and since then, you had not made yourself available, until the baby was
So
removed.
you could have called
from-
her,
from
she's
your
been
mother's
involved since the very beginning.
I've called, but,
care. You've only called me twice.
well, I'll go through my record, my
Okay,
voicemail.
I don't,
Okay,
you
yeah,
guys,
drop it
you
and
guys
then start
move forward.
now.
I would like to start about I wrote myself a note about the immunizations for the Venice Family Clinic. Who is her primary physician? Her
Um,
name or his name is?
I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but,
Do you have it in your phone
I-
so we can get?
I don't, Michelle's taking care of all that. I mean, I had a removal order, I hadn't really been involved for quite some time now, and,
So you were telling your mom the appointments
You
of
said you
the,
guys went to the appointment
Well,
or
yeah.
you
whatever.
were telling your mom about the appointments and about everything that
What I
was
don't wanna
pending.
have to happen is
with
for
the
her to
baby.
get re-immunized for things that she already got.
she
So
hasn't been
He
immunized.
said
At
he
all.
hasn't been,
No.
yeah, that's what he said.
Just what was it, the Hep A or whatever you
I
get at
don't
birth?
even, I even asked him and he said nothing, so I don't
Okay.
even know.
Because
You
it's
can just
time
ask
for
her
her
what
2
I-
month shots
whatever.
now.
You wanna ask me how she get answered?
But because I'm answering what you told me,
You can go in the Venice clinic, or I can go,
But
because,
he-
they don't give you information because it's, confidential. I know es que ella la llevaba y cuando los ojitos se le pusieron más le dije,
take it to the doctor.
llévala
And
otra
the
vez,
eyes got
porque
bad,
eso
she
no
told her
es
to take her
normal.
again, but that wasn't normal.
Y no sé si le dieron las vacunas, las primeras de las tomadas.
Any immunization?
Probably not. It's time now.
She's too, yeah, now.
It's time now.
Like
It's
the
time
hub
for her
was to-
for her 2 month shots.
Mhm.
Do you know if mom is, or are you and or mom opposed to immunization? Court would like to know, cause court will make a decision if you guys don't agree.
And the parent has a right to be at the medical appointment, so if you'd like her to be immunized, we can set that up so that you can be there, you can hold her while she's getting the immunizations.
Yeah, I would like to be there, and I would like to consult her mom before,
If you can't consult her mom, cause it's time now.
I
They're
told
gonna
you,
start
I thought,
making
and I had asked him on
an
Friday, he
appointment.
said he was gonna call.
I'm
He's gonna ask
anticipating
Mom.
Michelle getting out by this week, so I'm just letting you know that maybe by tomorrow she should be out.
Okay, so where is she gonna stay when she comes out?
I mean, we stay with our parents, but I mean, I don't wanna get it confused that I stay there now, cause that's another thing that was brought up, that my father had mentioned that I live there, but as of now, I don't, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be going back home, right?
And home is with you?
Yeah.
We would have to.
Ya, eso fue lo que dijo el
Talk with
juez, que ella no se podía mover de ahí con la niña.
Y con la niña, pero ahorita ya no tiene la niña,
Ujú.
así que ella puede ir a donde quiera, pero la pregunta es si ella puede llegar.
Well, she would be going back to my mom's house
Sí.
because if
Sí, él no
her
puede
dad is
estar
gonna
ahí.
get the kid, then she's not allowed to be there, right?
Sí.
Okay,
Ella
sí.
puede estar ahí, él no puede
You
estar
can
ahí.
also go back to the house, you know.
No, porque hay
bounce
una
around.
orden.
I'm not gonna do that.
Es que hay una orden de restricción. Yo por eso ni le dije dónde estaba la niña.
No, no hay orden de restricción.
Pues eso nos llegó. Esta muchacha Rebeca,
Ya,
ella
no.
llevó
She
la
said there's a
policía
restraining order.
y lo sacaron ese mismo día
Restraining order from who?
pues para él.
Ya, pero es una,
Or
como le
remove
había
order.
explicado
Order
él,
is not a
ajá,
restraining
yeah,
order.
but she's confusing it with the restraining.
Okay, well,
So, como le había
I don't
explicado
think
el
I saw
viernes,
that.
de que no es orden de restricción, es nada más orden de remover la custodia del papá de la niña.
No, que él no podía estar ahí.
Sí, sí,
Lo
sí.
sacaron.
Pero es
Lo
una,
sacaron
sí, sí,
ahí
sí,
en-
pero no es una orden de restricción diciendo que no puede estar en la propiedad, nada más no puede estar con la niña, como había explicado
O
el
sea,
viernes.
que ella dijo que no, Rebeca dijo que no, y incluso le dijo a Rebeca le dijo a Michelle, tú no te puedes ir con tu papá, te puedes ir a otro lado menos con tu papá.
Yeah, that I don't know
No
why, but she
entiendo.
says that Rebecca told Michelle, mom, that she couldn't go live with her father. don't know why
Okay.
she said that, but that's what Rebecca told, that she couldn't go live with her father.
Y por eso él se fue.
So
Él
that's
se
why
fue.
he moved out of the
Y los
home.
policías vieron que le dijeron que agarrara algo nada más y se fue. Y no se fueron los policías hasta que él no sacaba, se movió. Y yo pedí siempre una copia,
They
porque,
had asked for a copy.
y le dije, son yo considero mis derechos de que me tienen que dar una orden. También cuando ella fue le dije, yo necesito una copia de la orden de que te estás llevando tú la niña.
So she had asked for a copy of the removal order.
They wouldn't give it to her.
No, ninguna de las dos.
The
Ella me
original,
dijo-
what about the
ella me
removal order
dijo,
for my daughter? We were never given a copy of that either, that was signed by the judge supposedly.
They wouldn't give it to your mother because she's not a client, remember the
Well,
client?
can I
is
request,
the minor
a copy of all the current case and all the records and all the, every,
children. Your attorney has to get a copy of all the records.
I can't make a copy?
You have to let me know, what do you mean by all the records? Like, what do you, like what?
Anything that's been submitted into court, anything that you guys been mentioning,
Oh, anything submitted to court.
anything and
you have-
everything, anything and everything.
There's no anything and everything, like certain things you're not, like, referrals don't go out
My
ever to anybody.
my criminal history, I can't get a copy of my criminal history? That you guys
You want a
mentioned?
copy of your own criminal history? You don't have your own?
You can't, I mean, I'm just asking, that's,
It's
But-
included in the report.
Is it not attached to the,
No.
It's on the, it's listed on the
What-
report.
it looks like Polly's, history's, recorded there, but, I mean, I don't have any,
Cause when your, removal order goes through, there's no confusion about you are Darlene's father and,
I think there was.
no, not in the detention report, it's very clearly you. They're talking about, they identified you correctly, they identified your family correctly.
Why were his cases included in
Because
that?
it's the same mother. If mom has kids with 18 different men and has problems,
But
all but.
from my
wait.
understanding, each person's
You
supposed
asked
to
me
be.
a question, I'm trying to answer. This case is related, so if you had other children, and that would be in here too. Because the two parents, whatever cases they had, they go in there to give court an overview of the family functioning. So, mom's other child is a reflection of what she was going through at that time, and it's part of the court record. If you look at your thing, there's a part that says additional legal history, that is the additional legal history. It has nothing to do with you per se, but that is for mother. Court has that information, because sometimes you may have a child in one courtroom and a sibling is in another. So you have to put all that stuff down so that the other courtroom can talk to their set of attorneys or grab whatever case files they need, whatever, but all that stuff goes in. So that's not a confusion to you. Court's very clear about who you are versus the other father. They're very clear about that.
I just asked for a copy of my records, I don't know, I'm not saying, or in a copy of the case, and I don't see how,
So what
I
you
don't
can
see how prior history regarding my criminal record has anything to do with now, with my daughter, because if those things have been resolved already, and they've already been taken care of, why is it being, you guys are just, trying to paint me as a bad parent by including
No,
by trying to include Michelle's history with DCFS and Polly's history with, and attributed to me.
Okay, stop, see, you're investigating the investigation again.
I'm not trying to investigate, I just wanna know how we can proceed.
Let's say that you, well, you had a dirty test for drugs. If your criminal history indicates DUI, possession, it has